Hey Pan Peeps, it's Mary. Today I'm going to show you how you can do a search on eBay to look back 90 days to see what something has sold for. Now I'm typically looking at vintage and antique cast iron, and I might have a piece in my possession and I would just like to know what the value might be. I might be thinking to sell it and I don't know what a fair asking price might be. Or I might see something in an antique shop or at a flea market and I'd like to know if the price that's being asked is fair. To do that, I can do an advanced search. To do that, I click on Advanced, and that brings up this form. Now, I typically only fill out 2 places on this form. I look for sold listings as opposed to completed listings, because completed listings is going to bring up everything that was listed with my keywords regardless of whether or not it's sold, and I only want to know what people are actually paying for a certain piece. I look at all categories because even though I think something might belong in a particular category, the person who sold it on eBay may have listed it in a different category. In looking for your keywords, it's important to think about this because the more keywords you put in, the more limited your search will be. If I want to bring up a whole ton of results, I can just type in the word, for example, Griswold. And then anything that had the word Griswold in it, whether it is actually a Griswold or it is National Lampoon's Vacation, or it's somebody who's keyword spamming and using the word Griswold to sell something, even though it's not a Griswold, all of those results will come up. Well, I know I'm going to search for a cast iron skillet, and I'm going to search for a Griswold number 8. So I'm going to type in cast iron, and I'm putting that in quotes because I want those 2 words together. Then I want the word Griswold. And I'm spelling it correctly here, but you should be aware that people misspell Griswold. There might be a typo. Sometimes they put a Z instead of an S. Sometimes they put an A instead of an O. So you might want to do a number of different searches with different spellings if you were really trying to get a wide variety. I want to see a skillet. Again, I call it a skillet. Other people might call it a fry pan or a frying pan or just a pan. And I'm going to look for a number 8, which is pattern number 704. I think that most people probably would put the number 8 in there because they see the number 8 on the pan. So I'm going to put that on there. I don't know if people will put the number 704 on there because that's a pattern number, but again, make your own decision. I'm going to put in 704. We'll see what comes up. I have 386 listings. Now, right now, it is sorted by end date recent first. I'd like to know what the highest priced one was. So I'm going to look at the highest price first. I could also look at price plus shipping highest first, but I'll just look at price. The highest priced one was $158, and it was this large slant logo skillet with heat ring, and it was $158 plus $14.19. So if that's what I was looking for, I would click on it. I would look at the original listing, and then I would look at the photos because I would want to compare the photos that I'm seeing and the description to my pan, the pan I'm interested in buying or selling or wanting to know the value of, because it looks from the photos as though this pan is clean and ready to use. It looks like it might have some small amount of pitting, but really it looks pretty nice, but there's some pitting here as you can see. Now, if my pan is cruddy and dirty and hasn't been seasoned, it's not going to be worth this because it takes a lot of elbow grease and work to get a pan that is cleaned and restored. So if you see a pan that's sold for $158, but yours is not in the same condition or it doesn't have exactly the same markings, it's not going to be worth that much money. So let's go back And we are going to go back to look at the entire list of pans. Now let's see what the lowest price one was. Well, here's one that sold for $8.50. It's an enameled pan. It's the flamingo red. And I'm going to guess, without even looking at it, that the inside's going to look pretty bad because that is a darn cheap price. Yeah, here's the interior. You can see that it's not in good condition. It's not even, there you go. Yeah, so the reason this brought such a poor price is because of the damage to the enamel on the inside of the skillet. So basically what I would be doing is I would be going through this list, looking for pieces similar to mine in condition, and similar as well in whether it has been cleaned and restored. See, here's one that had a crack, some pitting, and a wobble. So of course that pan isn't going to bring very much money. And you can really spend all day playing around with these. You can limit your search even further if I just want to look at slant logos, for example. I can type that in. Now I've only got 36 results. And let's see, I've got one for 158. That's one we already looked at. But if I want to see the least expensive, there was one that sold for $38 plus $10.65. I can't see the picture, so I'm not going to click on that one. Here's another one. I'm going to look at the original listing. This one obviously needs quite a bit of work. It's got rust, it's going to need to be cleaned, it's going to need to be seasoned. You can barely make out the markings on it. And this is all the owner of it said about it. So you're probably going to want to ask some questions about it. But the point of this is to show the difference in prices and how important it is to look at the condition of the pan that you want to know the value of, and the precise markings on the pan, the precise trademark of Griswold, for example. Was it a slant? Was it a large block logo? Was it a small logo? And to put in the appropriate terms so that you get a pretty clear picture of what things are currently selling for. I hope you found this little tutorial helpful. Have a great evening.